When you're behind the wheel, your job as driver is to pick out information that will help you arrive safely at your destination. There are hundreds of images along the roadway that help you find your way. Most come in the form of traffic control signs, signals, and lane markings. Recognizing these can give you advance notice of changes ahead, such as merges, reductions in speed, or upcoming intersections. Knowing what they mean allows you to anticipate and react to changing traffic conditions so you can drive more safely. This video is based on the national standards that cover most traffic situations. However, to handle unique circumstances, each highway agency may create its own signs, signals, and lane markings. This video will show the underlying rules and logic behind traffic signs, signals, and lane markings, and why they are important to you. Signs provide a driver with a lot of useful information. The shape and color allow the sign's meaning to be recognized even from a distance. For example, both the shape and color of this sign tell you to stop. As a rule, the color red indicates stop or conveys a significant prohibition. Black and white signs provide regulatory information. Their placement also marks where the regulation goes into effect. For example, this end school zone sign indicates when it is safe to return to the posted speed limit. Accelerating when you first see this sign violates the law. You must wait until you have passed the sign before you can accelerate. Violating any regulatory or prohibition sign can get you into serious trouble. Yellow signs provide warnings. They alert you to curves, speed limit changes, crossings, slippery roads, and other conditions where a little warning goes a long way. Yellow, diamond-shaped warning signs might also appear before prohibition or regulatory signs to warn you of a change. An orange sign tells you you're in a construction zone. A symbol usually found on signs of other colors or shapes can sometimes show up on an orange sign. This conveys the same information, but with the additional warning to be extra cautious. Look for black and white regulatory signs to state the law, but consider the orange signs a warning to be extra alert. Begin to slow down to the reduced speed limit before you enter the zone. Follow the directions of lane change arrows, shoulder work ahead signs, changeable message signs, and be alert for no shoulder and bump signs. By slowing down in construction zones, you not only lower your risk, you also increase safety for highway construction and maintenance workers, dozens of whom are killed each year by motor vehicles passing through construction zones. Conditions can change rapidly in construction zones, so when the signs say slow down, slow down. Green signs tell you the distance or directions to cities, alternate routes, or other destination information. Blue signs provide service-related information, such as where to find food, lodging, and gas. Brown signs tell you of a recreation facility such as a park, campground, fishing site, or boat launch. Now let's look at some regulatory and warning signs that are frequently misunderstood or convey special meanings. Let's start with reduced speed and curve signs. Slowing down to the advisory speed before entering the curve helps you navigate it safely and smoothly. A 90-degree arrow means the upcoming turn is sharp, and the speed for safely navigating the turn is posted. A curved arrow indicates a more shallow turn. You may still need to reduce your speed depending on weather conditions. Chevron alignment signs guide you through curves where the roadway may be obscured. Follow the series to stay on the road. Several regulatory signs deserve special attention. Yield signs and entrance or exit ramp signs tell you to adjust your speed and look for a safe merging opportunity. Traffic on the highway and exiting vehicles have the right-of-way over incoming and merging traffic. Unless absolutely necessary, avoid stopping on the ramp when merging. Restricted access lanes are marked with black and white regulatory signs containing a white diamond. There's usually a white diamond painted on the roadway as well. This sign indicates a restricted lane for specially designated vehicles. Do not enter a restricted access lane unless you qualify to be there. If you need to make a turn across such a lane in city traffic, enter at the last possible moment, a half block or less from the turn. HOV stands for High Occupancy Vehicles. Only vehicles with the required number of occupants may travel in HOV lanes. Signs will indicate the minimum number of occupants, as well as the times when the restriction is in effect. HOV lanes may also have a diamond painted on the roadway. And pay particular attention to signs and signals for reversible lanes. These lanes are used to move traffic in one direction for a period of time, then in the opposite direction during another point of time. The signs tell you the correct direction of traffic and when the direction changes. However, stay alert. Don't assume that the opposing drivers are paying attention. Now let's look at some unique situations that require special signs. Tunnels usually have specific traffic control signs, such as minimum and maximum speeds, prohibited cargo, and the appropriate use of headlights or sunglasses. The signs you see when approaching a toll plaza tell you how far away the plaza is, what the safe approach speed is, and which lanes are for cars and trucks, and other useful information. In the United States, there are nearly 100,000 railroad crossings that are not equipped with gates or signals. It's important to be cautious when approaching any railroad crossing. If a railroad crossing does not have flashing lights and barricades, slow down and look both ways before crossing the tracks. Each year, hundreds of people are killed in collisions between motor vehicles and trains. Remember, it's difficult to accurately judge the speed of an oncoming train, and trains cannot slow down for you. For your own safety and the safety of others, it's important that you observe, understand, and follow all cautionary and restrictive signs when approaching a tunnel, toll plaza, or railroad grade crossing. These situations are well marked because there is very little room for error. Next, we are going to look at non-vehicular signs. Most of these signs refer to pedestrians and bicyclists. Walk, don't walk signals tell pedestrians when it's permissible to cross. If you're turning into their path, you must yield the right-of-way to them in this situation. Stop before the vehicle stop line or crosswalk painted on the roadway. Be prepared to stop for any pedestrian who enters a crosswalk, and learn to expect and to stop for pedestrians not in crosswalks. Your caution could save a life. A warning sign is often placed ahead of the crosswalk so you have adequate warning of the crossing zone. Another warning sign is placed at the crosswalk itself. The lines on the sign indicate the close location of the crosswalk markings. Whether you are in a residential neighborhood or at a busy intersection, be alert for inattentive pedestrians, especially children who are less predictable. In school zones, signs tell you when to reduce your speed and when it's safe to increase it again. Wait until you pass the end school zone or speed limit sign before resuming your speed. Finally, animal crossing signs tell you to slow down and look out. Animals behave unpredictably. For example, deer freeze when they see headlights, so be extra cautious when you see an animal crossing sign, especially at dawn or dusk when wild animals are more likely to be present. When driving, be sure to use both the sign's shape and color to obtain important traffic safety information. Some of the most important information you see on the road is in the form of traffic signals. Traffic signals control the flow of traffic at intersections. Throughout the United States, you may turn right at a red traffic signal after you have come to a complete stop, unless prohibited by a sign or signal. As you turn right on red, watch out for pedestrians and cross traffic from the left. You must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians. If a traffic signal turns yellow while you're approaching an intersection, stop before entering the intersection if you can do so safely without causing a rear-end collision. If you are already in the intersection when the signal turns yellow, continue through the intersection. But it's not safe to accelerate to get through an intersection before the signal turns from yellow to red. Other traffic may not see you in time to avoid a collision. But what about flashing signal lights? A flashing yellow light means that you need to slow down and proceed through the intersection with caution. Keep in mind that cross traffic may not stop even though they are supposed to. Always treat a flashing red light as a stop sign. Stop at the intersection and wait until there is an adequate break in traffic before entering the intersection. If the light is flashing red in all directions, treat it as an all-way stop sign. If two or more drivers arrive simultaneously at an all-way stop sign, you must yield the right-of-way to the driver to your right. If possible, establish eye contact with the other driver to communicate your intentions. If the intersection has no signs or the traffic control signal is not working, treat it as an all-way stop. Some traffic signals tell you when you may proceed in a specific direction. For example, if there is a red arrow or red light on the signal controlling your lane, you must stop even though traffic traveling in the same direction in the next lane may have a green signal. A green arrow on the signal tells you that you have a protected turn and that opposing traffic has been signaled to not cross your path. If the green left turn arrow goes off and no red light or red arrow appears, you may still turn left, but you must now yield to opposing traffic. Look for a safe opening to make your turn. Be sure that the light is still green when you move into the intersection, but if the light turns yellow while you're in the intersection, you're allowed to finish making your turn. Finally, if a police officer or crossing guard is present, their directions overrule the traffic signal. These general guidelines about traffic signals are always subject to local laws. Check the local ordinances for any variations in traffic laws. Be sure to stay alert for signal lights. They can make the difference between being involved in a crash and avoiding one. Lane markings or painted messages are the way streets communicate. There are two general rules about markings that tell you where you may and may not drive. The first rule is that white lines are on the right side of each traffic lane and yellow lines are on the left. The second rule is that solid or unbroken lines show you where you may not pass or change lanes. Dashed or broken lines indicate where you are permitted to pass or change lanes. For example, on a two-lane road, the solid white line to the right marks the edge of the roadway. The yellow line on the left separates you from oncoming traffic, but double solid yellow lines on your left means that it is not legal for either you or oncoming traffic to pass. If there is a dashed and solid line together and the dashed line is on your side of the road, you may pass traffic ahead of you if you can do so safely. However, opposing traffic is not allowed to cross the solid line. A single dashed yellow line on the left means that both you and the opposing traffic may pass. If you decide to pass, be sure that you have enough room to pass safely. Dashed and solid lines are also used to indicate a shared left turn lane. These lanes allow you to make turns from either direction without holding up traffic behind you. Enter these lanes as close to your intended turn as possible. Never use a shared left turn lane as a through lane. On multi-lane roads with medians, broken white lines usually separate the lanes going in the same direction. A single solid white line is intended to discourage but not prohibit you from changing lanes. However, in some states, crossing a single solid white line is illegal. These very short dashed white lines indicate a merge lane. You may need to make a lane change to continue straight ahead. Short white lines like these guide you through large, complex intersections. In addition to lane markings, you'll also often see reflectors. These are especially helpful at night or any time when it is hard to see the edges of the road. Whether dashed or solid, yellow or white, lane markings can help you position your vehicle for maximum safety. In addition to the color and shape of traffic signs, how the information appears can also be useful. Route signs mark federal interstates and other roadways, state highways, and county or municipal roadways. If you understand how routes are numbered and marked, you can always be in the right lane at the right time. The interstate system uses a shield symbol that is blue on the bottom with a red band across the top like this. The primary route number is either a single or double-digit number. North-south routes have odd numbers. East-west routes have even numbers. Spurs and loops extend from a primary interstate. A spur is a short route that connects with a primary route at only one end. It has a 3-digit number that begins with an odd number. A loop is a route that meets the primary route at both ends. Its 3-digit route number begins with an even number. Loops usually bypass cities or congested areas. U.S. routes that are not part of the interstate system have signs like this. The numbering system, however, is similar: odd for north-south routes and even for east-west routes. State, county, and municipal roadways use numbering systems similar to federal routes. However, the shape and color of route signs vary among states, counties, and municipalities. On limited access highways and some other roadways, exit signs are placed before the exit. These signs give you plenty of warning so you know what's ahead. Route signs are placed just after the entrance to a roadway. They help you orientate yourself and provide confirmation that you are on the right road. Milepost markers tell you your position on the route. They are located every mile along many major routes. These markers tell you the distance from the beginning of the route starting at the south or west state line, or from the junction at where the route begins. Use these mile markers if you need to call for help. Some states provide motorists with special cellular phone numbers to call in emergency situations. Whenever you drive, understanding the signs, signals, and lane markings that you see will help make your trip safer and easier. They can also help reduce your risk by giving you useful information well in advance of special situations. And remember to stay alert, pay attention, watch out for other roadway users, and always wear your safety belt.